Our coverage starts in the South American country of Venezuela. Its economy is crumbling, and thousands of people there are flooding out into neighboring nations like Brazil and Colombia, who are trying to figure out what to do about the refugees. Venezuela's economy is based on oil. The nation has more proven oil reserves than any other country on earth. And when oil prices were high, the government's main source of income was bringing in billions of dollars. But the global recession that started in 2007 caused oil prices to free fall. They recovered for a few years after that, but oil prices dropped again in 2014 for various reasons. Global production of crude oil has been falling for more than 2 years, and Venezuela now produces less than half the oil it did in the late 1990s. Salaries for oil workers there are increasingly worthless. Some of them are taking second jobs to make ends meet. Others are selling the pants, boots, and gloves from their work kits to buy food. And because Venezuela's economy as a whole is so heavily dependent on oil, the ripple effects from this are spreading all over the country. The government has tremendous debt, and studies suggest that more than 80% of all Venezuelans are now living in poverty.
Venezuela has shattered some stunning economic records in the last 5 years. Inflation here is almost incalculable, but it will easily run into the thousands in terms of a percentage this year. And what does that mean? It means that people are lacking the bare necessities, things like food and medicine. And the fact remains that 2/3 of people here report that they have lost significant amounts of weight because they can barely scrape together 1 or 2 meals a day. Venezuelan politics have always been complicated and temperamental, but even more so now as the crumbling economy has plunged this country into a very dangerous political stalemate. In 1999, Hugo Chavez was elected president, and he turned to his very specific and personal brand of socialism, Chavismo. He gave out free flats, television sets, refrigerators, fixed prices for basic things like flour and eggs, and that made many people in Venezuela happy. It totally brought up the standard of living in the middle class. The problem was there was no way to pay for these things. When Hugo Chavez died in 2013, his hand-picked successor, Nicolas Maduro, was elected president. He continued with Chavismo. The problem was that the price of oil collapsed from $100 a barrel to less than $50. The economy has never recovered.